Rygaard Creations. I would like to start a series of videos focused on more advanced customizations in the custom room Rygaard Creations. In this first video, I'll explain some necessary concepts that will be very important for everyone to understand the process. And then I'll start this advanced part of customization. Start from how to customize the navigation buttons, which are right here at the top of the viewport area, okay? So, 3DCoat offers two different ways for us to access the advanced part of the customization of the custom room. The first one, we come in here through the room list menu, which I already explained in the video on how to create your own custom room here inside 3DCoat. And the second and easier on the side here on the room listing menu by clicking on this button here from an icon that looks like a page, which is the edit the room. Great. Now, in the edit room window, the first thing I will do here is check and activate the use scripts for navigation option. And I will click on the button next to it, edit script for the navigation. In my case, it opened Notepad++ here. I know everybody must be terrified by now. Some ran away, others were petrified, and most of them fell off their chairs. But don't worry, although this line may look like a terrifying movie at this moment, but in the end you like it because it will be a comedy terrifying movie. How about it? And as the name of the button itself was a spoiler, we will have to edit the script's codes because currently in 3DCoat, for more specific and advanced customizations, we have to deal with programming codes. Yeah, that's it. More or less something like, with great powers come great responsibility. But don't worry, okay? It's not difficult. I am here just to help you to orient yourselves and become more familiar with this kind of structure. Because we need to understand it to be able to make the necessary changes and manipulate the code safely without making any kind of mistake in here, okay? Great. Do you remember when I said at the beginning of the video that I'll just start explaining the necessary concepts? So, take a deep breath. Because the time has come for you to master everything about the subject. Nice. First of all, we need to identify and understand just a little bit about something called function. But what is a function? A function is a set of commands which perform a certain task and are contained within a block. Generally, there are some ways that we can identify a function here within the scripts, okay? Mainly through the structure of the function, meaning the skeleton of how it's presented in the script. I'm going to move here to a blank page so that I can introduce you to this function skeleton. Yeah. The first way we can identify a function is the following. It has a name, okay? In this case, Rygaard. Next, the open parenthesis, the closing parenthesis, okay? And semicolon. Inside the open and closing parentheses, there can be parameters. For example, these two parameters. And at the end, we would also have the open curly bracket and the closing curly bracket. And inside them contain a block of commands. For example, command 1, command 2. And logically, we would also have parameters or not inside these parentheses, okay? Now, for the second one, whoa, before I forget, right? I heard a question from you. What would these parameters be? Where they live? What they do? What do they feed on? These parameters are used to communicate between the various functions that exist within 3DCoat, okay? Now, I'll introduce you the second way to identify a function. The other way to identify a function is when the word void appears in front of the function name. Exactly like this. Very easy, right? Void. I'll just have the name of my function, okay? And the whole skeleton I presented, oops, above. So, what does this word void mean? Maybe a powerful magic word? No, it means that it is a void type function. Okay, let me explain better. The function will execute a block of commands, but these commands do not need return any value. I know, I know. Don't worry. You don't need to know the details of how a function works, okay? The most important thing of all is to know how to identify a function inside the script, okay? But there are also other ways that you can identify a function. The other way is the name of the function, okay? And as you already know, with the opening and closing parentheses and the semicolon. In this case, we can have a parameter, or we can have a function, the open and closing parentheses and the semicolon, okay? There are the four cases that we can identify a function inside the 3DCoat script, okay? Now, let's get back to the script because we are very brave, right? And let's face all these lines, okay? Great. Look how interesting. Right here, on the first line of the script, we have the word void, the name man, the open and closing parentheses, the opens and closes curly bracket. As well, we have many commands inside the script. This all sounds very familiar, doesn't it? Exactly. We are in front of our first function, right? Right. Let's take a closer look at what we are going to find inside the main function. In the second line, you will love it. Check it out. We have a name. In this case, it's a menu item. Open parenthesis, close the parenthesis, something inside. Then we have semicolon. But what is the quote? An alien? No. Remember the parameters? Yeah. Here is a parameter. So we have just identified a function again, right? Right. Great. Let's just focus now on these first 22 lines, okay? Did you notice anything in the main item function from line 2 here to line 22? Of course, the parameter that is the function and the comment next to it are different for each function, right? But there is something very important that you love to know. Each function main item is exactly equivalent to each of the buttons. Oops. Let me close here. Cancel. To each of the navigation buttons here. Look at the top of the viewport. In fact, it's the same order they appear from left to right. Perfect. And I'll prove it to you, okay? Please pay attention. I'm going to open it here because I already have the scripts from line 2 to 22, okay? Pay attention here. On the first line, we have what? Light contrast. Adjust the contrast of lighting. If I come here, put the mouse over the first navigation button, look what appears. Adjust the contrast of lighting, okay? First command exactly the first navigation button here. And what happens if I come here on the last one? Pay attention. Nav projector. You may project any texture. I'll come back here on the last one. You may project any texture. So all these buttons that you are seeing here are exactly the same in the script. From the top, the first one, to the last one. It's exactly the first one from the left to the last one here on the right, okay? I'm going back to the script quickly. As you know, on this button, I'm back here. Activate again because I cancelled it, okay? You have to enable the use of scripts again. Press the Edit Script for the navigation button, and I'm back to the navigation script. Now, I'll show you the beginning of my advanced customization of the custom room Rygaard Creations, okay? What I'm going to do here is quite simple, but for sure it will make my life much easier to have a faster access to the 3 navigation buttons that I always use here inside 3DCoat. My idea is to change the order of some of the navigation buttons in the viewport. So, I'll set my 3 navigation buttons to appear primarily from left to right, okay? Great. First, I have to identify the function of the command I need. In this case, it's view ortho. It's right here, this line of code right here. Now, I have to select the entire command line, okay? I'm going to press here before the function, shift press down, and after the last word here, click with the left mouse button. Now, I have selected the entire line of code. And after that, I want to what? Paste this command on top, okay? Before the other functions here. So I'm going to press this button here to cut, or Ctrl X on the keyboard. Now I cut. I come up here, I press the Enter key, so I have some empty spaces. And on the first line, I use the space button or Ctrl V. Great. I will do the exact same process I just did for the other two commands I need, which are toggle Y rotation and nav FOV, okay? So, same thing. I'll select the entire command, the entire line. Good. Cut. I come here, then on the empty blank line, I'll paste or Ctrl V on the keyboard. I will do it one more time. Select all the entire command, nav FOV, cut or Ctrl X on the keyboard, and put it here in the empty space. Ctrl V this time. Oops. To paste, okay? And in these empty spaces, I'm going to clean the code erasing these spaces, okay? Quickly here. Alright, now that I'm done with my changes, I'll save this script by pressing Ctrl S on the keyboard or this little icon here to save. And one very important thing I would like to warn you about. Whenever you save this script, immediately and never forget to close the navigation.cpp script, okay? This may sound silly, but if you forget to close the script and then proceed normally to 3DCoat, and by some chance you come back to edit the script, at some point you will get a warning window in which 3DCoat asks you something similar like whether or not to update the script. But the fact is, if you click on the wrong option, 3DCoat will update the script and you will lose your modifications, okay? So I will click here to close the script. And in the Edit the Room window, I will click on the OK button to confirm my modifications. Now, I come here with the mouse cursor. Look at that. My navigation buttons appeared before the others and in the order I defined in the script, right? Right. To prove it, I come here and as you can see, I completely changed the order. The ortho command was here. Now it's here first. The toggle Y rotation command was here. Now it's second. As well, this other FOV navigation button is now here in the third position from left to right, just like I did there in the navigation script. Nice. I hope you have learned something new. And as always, I will see you all in the next video. See you there.